Hello, this is Elizabeth Griffin, the Black Romance Writer, and welcome back to my channel. I remember as a young girl, when I was about 7 or 8, my first thought when it came to literature was, if I couldn't find Black people in books, that's because no one had written them. So I was going to be the first person to write books with Black characters. However, as the years have gone by, I realized that this is not a novel idea, and that there have been people who were born before me who have crafted stories and told stories about Black people, about Black love, about living through oppression, through slavery, through the Depression. There are so many writers that came before me and whose work I can study and learn from. Which brings me to the talented, gifted playwright, P.J. Gibson. When I was 26, I had the opportunity to take a class that she taught. It was at Bushfire Theater in West Philadelphia, and it was some months after I'd given birth to my first child. I was in the car with my newborn baby and my companion, and we were driving across the bridge from Delaware to Philadelphia so that I could take this class. And let me tell you, it was worth it. I remember that P.J. Gibson said, "Writing is not a luxury," and I'm paraphrasing. When we write, we must have something to say. We don't have the privilege of writing frivolous things. And that has always, always stayed with me. Write with a purpose. So, if P.J. Gibson were alive today, if she were watching the things that we're going through now, what would she say? What advice would she give Black writers? So, of course, I turned to ChatGPT to find out what they think she would say after looking through her work and through their database. ChatGPT, what would P.J. Gibson say about the current state of America? How would she inspire and uplift new Black writers who are dealing with the unthinkable, the unspeakable, the silencing of politicians, the silencing of the news media, the silencing of the layman? How would she encourage Black writers to use their pen to tell their truth? Playwright P.J. Gibson, known for her raw, poetic, unflinching portrayal of Black womanhood, trauma, survival, and spiritual reckoning, would bring depth, soul, and urgency to this question. Her work often deals with the psychological scars of systemic oppression and the intimate internal landscape of Black women navigating love, violence, history, and selfhood. Gibson's plays like Long Time Since Yesterday, Split Second, and Somebody's Daughter confront racism, sexism, violence, grief, and resilience without compromise. She is deeply rooted in the tradition of Black women writing truth to power, often not for the mainstream, but for the salvation of our own. So here's what a P.J. Gibson inspired answer might sound like. Write because they want you silent, and that's how you know you're necessary. Gibson wouldn't sugarcoat the moment. She would likely acknowledge the weight, the fatigue, the psychological warfare of living and creating in a country that's trying to erase DEI, censor truth, punish protests, and rewrite history. She might say, they want your tongue tied. They want your memories gone. They want your rage buried. That's why you must write, because silence is death, and we've already died too many times. Writing for P.J. Gibson is not a luxury. It's a weapon, a ritual, and a reclamation of the sacred. What stories can you tell when censorship is high? She would say, tell the stories anyway. Write them in memory. Hide them in dreams. Smuggle them through bodies of Black women who survived. In the spirit of her work, Gibson would likely push you to tell the truth in layers. Let your characters whisper what you're not allowed to scream. Center Black women's emotional and spiritual integrity, not just their pain. Use the supernatural, the ancestral, the poetic to preserve stories when the system tries to burn the archives. Honor the contradictions. rage and love, grief and joy, beauty and rot. She'd remind you that even in censorship, we have always found ways to speak through rhythm, through story, through the body, through each other. What are the responsibilities of the romance writer in a racist America? Gibson might turn the question on its head and ask, whose idea of romance are you writing? Are you writing healing, or are you writing fantasies that betray us? To Gibson, romance is not just love and sex. It's safety, visibility, trust, vulnerability, and truth. So, as a Black romance writer, your responsibility isn't to mimic white tropes. It's to free us from them. Write love that doesn't ask Black women to shrink. Write lovers who know how to stay. Write relationships that carry the scars of the world and still choose tenderness. For her, a love story in a racist world isn't fluff. It's survival art. What do you do when you can't speak the truth outright? Gibson's plays often circle the truth. They don't preach. They wound and heal at the same time. She'd likely say, if they won't let you mention the annihilation of an entire race of people, then show me the mother whose child disappears. If they won't let you name open racism and the acts committed upon a certain group of people, then show me the house that eats Black women alive. She'd tell you to use metaphors without apology, but she'd also tell you not to forget what you are really saying. Disguise it, but never dilute it. The spirit will know what you mean. And P.J. Gibson's final words to the group of listening writers would be, our stories are the bones we've been burying for generations. Dig them up, name them, dress them in flesh, and put them on stage or on the page so they can finally breathe.